Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
And 3.
Number 2.
Follow that up with a 1.
Woohoo!
America.
Ooh.
Some weeks more than others. America, you
You're
are
welcome.
welcome. We're here. And that is something to be, what does that mean? Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. You know, Juan and I were talking right before we came on here that there's just nothing really to talk about this week.
Yeah,
So
we should wrap it up. See you.
We may just talk gumbo recipes or wow. I honestly thought that we would start off with a bunch of hurricane because
Yeah. Well, I forgot about that. That seemed like 100 years ago.
little thing called a hurricane came through here since last we spoke. My home here. The studios were out for several days without power.
Wow.
We were elsewhere and various things until that would have been the big story, or the Biden kind of big boy press conference they called it.
Yeah, that was good. All right, let me wipe my.
You know, the big boy press
Smearing it
conference
up.
that was supposed to it's the word assuage our
I don't know.
our doubts, our fears, our
Look, here I go with
concerns,
this
or as
red
Juan
cloth,
does big time.
Big boy camera cleanse
Those of you that are missing the visual, as
with
Juan
my red grease rag.
cleans his so that we may touch on that. But yesterday we had how do you, and we have to take this, I mean, this program, we've said before, we try to make fun of stuff, we make light of things you can. Obviously, we're talking before, like, how do you cover this? You can't
Right.
not talk about. So an attempted assassination yesterday.
Right. Flat out. And
in-
you know, not a lot of people, or a lot of people seem to be using other words than assassination,
Well, I think
which offends me unto itself.
they're having to say that now. I was in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we actually had a very nice late lunch with friends in not far from Galveston yesterday. We were down there driving home. My wife was driving because we did the count. I had
You partook.
I partook, and she was driving. So as we're driving, I get a text on my phone from a friend that said there were shots fired at the Trump rally. Now, yeah, well, ooh, and this was probably, you talk about breaking, right? So
Yeah, I happened to, because my son was here. The boy lives on Twitter.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting down flipping. Then he said, "Oh man, put it on the news."
So that was, and at first it said shots fired, and I was, well, that's, I'm thinking these massive events. Somebody, I don't know what you're thinking, because it's,
Yeah, right. Not long after 4th of July, somebody could have
right.
had
The
some
next,
fireworks.
the next, text from him just a little later, and because I was starting to look it up, was he seems to be okay. I was thinking, wait a minute, that kind of suggests that, or he may have said something. But anyway, and then when I pull it up on my phone as we come, and it continues and continues, that became the all consuming. So that was basically the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Is all we've been doing. And so timestamp this, we're doing this on a Sunday afternoon. This event, this happened yesterday. So you guys will probably be seeing this, whether you're watching this on Monday when it comes out or sometime during the week. So things could change as we go along, but appears to be a lone gunman who Twitter identified within an hour. Right, within an hour. I didn't write this idiot's name down. He's he's somewhere in hell right now with right. He's right. He's getting the orientation in hell right now. What are you thinking?
Just like the way you put that.
Well,
I've been in church for 6 hours.
Well, I got out of church a little while ago myself.
Yeah. We prayed in church about yesterday, the event. Nobody brought up the guy who's getting oriented to hell at the
Well,
moment.
he's probably, but he's there. But and then also, I mean, real condolences. There were people that were killed,
Yeah.
innocent, bystanders. But it is just, and it's what we do in America. It's what we do anywhere in the world, I guess. Immediately, the reactions and people jump to conclusions and this and that. But uh, some things become obvious right off the bat. And here's again the simple way I think of things. And right now the story is turning into how horrible Secret Service was.
Oh, dude.
Okay. Now, and I am like anybody else, right? I think like you. What really depresses me is that I was Secret Service was one of the few things left that I thought surely this has to be the best of the
Well,
best.
the odd thing for me was, I was again, my son was here, and we were talking, and there were rumors that the shooter was down. And I'm saying, imagine how, and look to the snipers that took him out, kudos and great work to those guys. But I'm just saying, imagine being able to find that guy in this crowd and take him out that quick.
Yeah, but
Well, then it's like, what?
yeah, right. So
How
those
did
of
you miss this guy?
those of you that aren't familiar, and we're not looking, there are people out there. In fact, I will recommend a guy named Dan Bongino, who some of you know,
Mhm.
some of you love Dan Bongino, some of you may hate him. He used to be on Fox, and I'm not a Fox News. I had to turn off Fox News several times last night. I despise him. I absolutely hate most of the
I end up
people.
watching CNN more now,
Right?
as not because I like CNN, but
No.
it's as much out of curiosity to say, let me see how they're going to cover it,
Well,
because how Fox is going to
they
cover it.
have some that seem to try to kind of maybe like they already know that everybody knows who they are. So you sort of take it with they kind of play the line of, okay, what our angle is, where we are, but they try sort of, it's one thing I would rather listen to somebody who I know is crazy biased. So I don't know. I just like, okay, I can adjust to that. It's the folks like Fox that play the game of being either down the middle or whatever, and
Yeah,
and
no.
they're not. So, but the point Juan was making exactly when you hear that, wow, how does a sniper find? Well, this guy, and this is the great thing too about I read another line that was pretty good that said if Elon Musk had not purchased Twitter, and now they call it X, but we all still call it Twitter, you would not know a fraction of what you already know and what's happening in real time. Okay. But so this guy is apparently able to get up on top of a building with about 100 and they said it's 140 yards, 140 feet. Sorry, 140. No,
No,
140
it
yards,
was,
140
yeah,
yards.
football field and a half.
Not quite. Not quite a football
Yeah.
field and a half. Now, for those of you that think, wow, that's a long way off. No, it ain't, y'all. No, it ain't.
Yeah,
Let
how was that not? And again, I know that's where
let
we're
me
going,
give
but
yeah.
how
Let
was
me give
that
you
not in the perimeter
so
of
let
the
me give
event?
you a hint. Let me give you a hint. Secret Service anti-sniper, like the snipers that are there to watch for other snipers, they are trained at 1,000 yards. Right. Those guys will make 1,000 yard shot. 140 yards is a layup. So it's you can see it. In other words, if you've got a weapon and you have a scope, I mean, it is not a difficult thing. So this
Yeah,
guy
you're
is
picking your spot in his head.
this guy is able to get up on top of the closest building in the outside perimeter with a direct line.
Right. There was nobody. The Secret Service snipers were, Trump was between the shooter
Correct.
and the security.
They're up on buildings or up on wherever they are, supposedly looking out over the crowd, looking out everywhere. But prior to that, and that's the video that came out, that guy's wearing an old 2020 hat and he's got, red hair sticking out. And
Yeah,
but
was that his hair or was that
that
just
was his
fake
hair.
hair?
If you look at it, he has a red beard. So that was actually probably his hair. Which is kind of funny how what people get caught
Well,
up
because
on.
I was looking at it, I said maybe they didn't believe him because he had that hat on with the
Well,
fake hair.
but he's pointing out how we saw
Yes.
We saw this guy. We started yelling, "Hey, there's a dude on the roof with a gun." They said the cops, now granted, exactly. It's going to be a little bit harder to grassy knoll this guy because we've all seen it. It's already out there. But then other videos have come out where you can hear people surrounded screaming.
Yeah.
So, and one theory, I saw one guy came out and said, first of all, let's be straight here. Trump saved himself. Nobody tackled him. Hey,
Right.
hey, Secret Service. Nobody tackled him. He got hit. He knew to get down.
Yeah. Well, I heard later, and you may have heard that the banner in the front of the stage, uh, with the stars and stripes on it, that's a bulletproof shield.
Well, okay. I mean, if it is great, but it's still he got hit.
Oh yeah, he got,
Right.
and I didn't think. I mean, again, watching it the first time when it was happening, darn near in real time, when he pulled his hand from his ear, I didn't see blood on his hand, so I said,
Right.
"Yeah, he's all right." Yeah,
I didn't
it must
think
have just whizzed by.
at first, right. The first time I saw it, it did not look like my thought was, yeah, right. Did he get hit? But you notice he went down and he went down. It wasn't Secret Service that took him down.
No,
No, they jumped on him after. Now, and then you seeing the video now, the two anti guy, the snipers on top. So they returned fire. Now, everybody, I don't know how long it is. It's all video. You can listen to the shots, you can listen to, but it becomes obvious that they saw the guy before he shot. They were looking in the guy's direction. They had
somebody said one of them popped up before as
I-
though laying eyes on him. I don't know if
and it looked like,
that's
I think he popped up after the first shot.
uh,
Okay, so now there's all theories going on, and I'm sorry, this is like, I guess we should throw in a Bayou joke by now, but it is what it is, y'all. It's one of these. This is a time, and I did mention this to Juan before we went on because we're talking about a few folks out there that you can tell. We all have conservative friends and
yeah.
liberal friends, and we have very, very, very conservative friends. I've had friends for the past few years who are so into Trump that I even pump the brakes and saying, hey,
Yeah.
hey, okay. And then I've got other folks I know who are just derangement, right? They call it Trump derangement syndrome. They literally cannot form a proper thought when his name comes up because they just, for whatever reason. Okay. But those of you out there that, whatever part of the spectrum you fall on, let's play the game of, you are a middle of the road or conservative right now. And you have friends. You can tell who are or people who are your smart
Mhm.
liberal friends and who are absolute morons by who's talking right now and who's not. Because if your instinct or any of is to somehow start blaming like blaming the guy that just got shot,
Yeah.
right? Or
It's
saying it's a gun problem. It's a gun
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
And I'll go the other way because I've got conservative friends that do the exact same thing. I posted the picture right after it happened. The bloody face picture. And then instantly my conservative friends, who are most of my friends, start the whole, whatever, just going off.
Right.
And I have a friend who's liberal, but she is, she's smarter than just about anybody I know.
Okay.
And she commented, yeah, I don't like the guy, but this is out of control.
Right.
Then everybody starts attacking her on my page.
Well, that's stupid.
And right. And I got to say, please stop attacking people.
That's stupid.
This is not right. And I ended up deleting the post because people would like my comment to stop attacking and then attack.
And I don't even know how to feel about that because I've done that as well, where you feel obliged to say, look, I don't like this person.
Yeah.
So don't think that my saying this means I like this person because let me establish I don't like this. I don't know that you should do that because I've done it before. I'll say like, yeah, I can't stand that guy, but that shouldn't happen. But her point is valid.
Right.
It's like I'm not coming from this as I'm not a red hat wearing person, but this is out of control. This is what gets me as well is, again, how incredibly, incredibly naive it is. No matter how much you dislike somebody, to not realize that we were an inch away yesterday
Right.
from an
An inch.
from an
That's a long
entirely
way. That's a short inch, man.
from an entirely different world. You are living today, and we already are, by the way. The things, but you wonder sometimes how much of a wake up call some people need. All right, some people they can have the little alarm going off, the little beep, and they won't wake up. Some people need the alarm that's got the little built-in or a vibrator for the bed to wake them up. Some people need you to come in and slap them around and throw water in their face. Okay, well, yesterday was a slap around water in your face about, hey, this is getting right. This is getting out of it was not getting, it is out of control. It's 100% out of control. But anybody in their head who can't understand what almost happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not stopped by anybody. It was maybe the people. Now, one of the theories I read, or somebody made the comment, they're basically saying that the people out in the field that were screaming at the guy, because they were screaming at the dude lining up the shot, or the guy that was on top there, and they say that they may have hurried him along.
Yeah.
Because they were calling out the cops saying, you got to, not Secret Service. And again, hey, you know what? Part of me hopes that by the time this comes out tomorrow, or whenever you all see this, maybe days or weeks later, I hope that the story is slightly different, that it wasn't as bad as we think it is. But the problem is, you come down to, it's either incredible incompetence, or something else.
Dude was, yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
there's that.
again, here's the theory. How does this guy know which building to crawl on that's not secured? Because everybody, and I said the Bongino, if you go, there's about a 6-minute interview, the Bongino, who used to be Secret Service and who knows a lot of Secret Service people, talked about, there is like, in no world is the building that's an elevated sight line to a stage where the most famous man, the most famous, infamous, but man in the world is going to be speaking. There's no scenario where you don't have
you throw polarizing in there.
That you don't have Secret Service standing on that building. Yeah. Flat out. That building actually should have been.
And also the fact that it was in the line of sight.
Unbelievable. Here's how I would this should show you how bad it is. I'm thinking about, let's think about some Bayou folks. Every now and then when there's a tragedy, there's something goes on, think of the Cajun Navy, right? A bunch of volunteer. I don't call them ragtag because they know what they're doing, right? Man, you get these disasters that come in, and you got these volunteers all over the place. The Cajun freaking Navy, man, they got their own boats, they got their own equipment, and they go out and they do things that other people.
Right. They're not waiting for the red tape.
I promise you, if Trump would have just dumped the Secret Service detail weeks ago and just randomly hired the Cajun Navy, that's not their expertise. Right. I mean, I promise you,
Trump would have been speaking in Matthews.
Yes, I promise you that even now I don't know the Cajun Navy folks. I'll bet most of them are pretty good with a gun, but that's just my theory. Juan, if they'd have called me and you and various HOA boards and the biggest bunch of ragtag fools to get up there to an outdoor event like that and said, okay, you guys are running security, we'd have covered that building, man. We'd have covered.
At least had eyes on it the entire time.
Or maybe even listen when other people in the audience are saying, hey, here's a hint that something may be going on. There are bystanders in the field saying there's a dude with a gun crawling across the.
Well, one of the guys, and it may have been the guy with the red hair, who even said, "I thought sure they'd." Yeah, I assumed they pulled him off of the stage.
I saw exactly. You say, why in the world is he not that at a minimum? At a minimum, when that stuff starts happening, you got to give the wave and say, Mr. President, Mr. Ex-President, what you want to call him, step down, step aside. Like or that's when Secret Service runs out there and puts themselves in front of them until you see, like, hey,
right,
that dude on the building with the gun, is he one of us?
He with us,
right?
He doesn't have the same outfit on.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're going deep. So anyway, that happens, and like I said, stuff will have come out. And again, being lost in this again, the tragedy that somebody died, somebody was
Yeah.
killed by the shots, and I think somebody's still in critical. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Two others I think got hit. I don't know how they
okay,
are. I know at least one of them critical. Um, but going back to your point about stupid people will show you
yeah. Oh, pay attention,
readily.
y'all. Oh, the
Yeah,
stupidity's
I
coming out
want to
right now.
read this to y'all. And I'm not gonna name the person.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Some of the people who listen to this that are my friends will instantly know who I'm talking about. Um, it's grew up along the bayou, um, but suddenly married somebody not from here and became very liberal. Which
Okay.
hey, that's your choice, whatever. But that mean everybody who's not is a moron.
And let's say this. I'm gonna pause you on that. Let's say this. It sounds like I make this stuff up. Some of my favorite people, some of my best friends for decades, love people to death in business people and friends, are liberal as the day is long. We do not agree on much of anything, right? And we are, I mean, dear friends. Would
Dude, I went to high school with this other girl who her and I, she's the one who told me, a few years back that she thought I was an a-hole in high school. Um, and I'm sure you were right.
I'm sure you're
Um,
right.
but she doesn't live here anymore. But so we still converse back and forth. And that's the one after the debate, because she's liberal. I sent her a notice today. I don't want to put this on Facebook because I'm not trying to start an argument on your Facebook page.
Right,
But
right.
what do you think about what's going on with the president? So we had a conversation about that. Yesterday, she sent me a note, said, "Hey, you all right?"
Yeah.
Meaning, she knows that we have different political beliefs, but just it's like, hey,
Dude,
you're still a friend. Let's
I
check.
would be, and again, you say it sounds like something you can just say. I would be equally as nauseated if it was the other way around.
Right. And
In
look,
fact,
people know how we feel.
I'd probably be a little bit more terrified because, and here's what you got to watch. And I know you got to finish your point. I'm sorry I
No,
interrupted
that's
that
fine.
point. Okay. Here's my thing too. What you have to watch out for now, guys. Because, boy, hey, let's throw the conspiracy stuff out here. Because, up until yesterday, go back and look at some clips from Tucker Carlson. Go look at some clips from, heaven forbid, Alex Jones. I think maybe just
Yeah.
saying his name might get this thing banned. But the people that have been calling, that have been basically saying, y'all, it is a progression. And when this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, okay? So that's been, anyway, that's been going on. The next thing is to, and this is where any Democrat politician out there better be watching yourself, because what would it take to show the backlash? Take somebody out and blame, right? The
Yeah.
false flag. Hey, look, woo, can't say that. That's conspiracy. But that's how you end up saying, oh my gosh, we've got a civil war on our hands. And you know what you do in
Well,
civil
but
war?
it's
We got to go back to the way we voted last time. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, it, it
yeah, mail in.
all the stuff that, and all the shout out to the conspiracy theorists, man, they're batting like 900 right now. But anyway, okay.
Well, one good thing, and I'm gonna get back to my point in 10 seconds, is Pennsylvania is a battleground state, so maybe Pennsylvania will now swing strong for Trump.
We'll
But
see. All
anyway,
right, if
so
that's what you want out there, those of you in
yeah,
Dave and Juan land, and that's good news. Those of you that don't like that, that might be bad news for you, but we'll see. But even Fetterman came out, our favorite senator, and I'm thinking literally on both sides. I honestly think that Fetterman may be my favorite U.S. senator right now, which
yeah.
would show you how weird the world is we're living in.
Bizarro world.
Bizarro
So
world.
this girl, one of her favorite shows is 60 Minutes, and she posts all this stuff. This is a girl who literally she's a little bit older than me. She posts every pictures of every meal she has, and gives a minute by minute rundown
Nice.
of each of her days. Uh,
For
a
those of you,
bit,
for those of you that were missing it, yeah.
yeah, a bit too self-important. But again, lean politically however you want. So yesterday, mid-afternoon, she posted, "Tell me you can't be that ignorant, please," which I assure you was a shot at something that was going on in the news. I don't know what she was talking about then. Minutes after the shooting, she posts, "Watch the news." Minutes after that, when the video starts to surface, this is the one that I commented on. Best acting drama ever.
Best acting drama ever. Okay.
And so I commented, I said, "Girl, you're better than this. Don't do this."
Yeah.
And a couple other people commented on it. I didn't screenshot it, but later a friend of mine sent me a note and said, "Good on you for commenting on her
Yeah.
thing." Well,
Just like, yeah.
she deleted my comment and then added to her comment the word Ezra, which apparently is a movie.
Okay.
And somebody commented on her thing, you know, people were out for you on your post on your page. You were talking about a movie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then the original poster comments, "Yes, it's sad."
it's sad. It's so sad.
I mean, just delete the thing. Then today, to keep the story alive,
You
she posts a review from YouTube of the movie.
you ought to get you're not gonna and you shouldn't, but I'm saying you might as well just give her a name because her life is apparently to be noticed, and that's fantastic. And I just love the fact that we're all a bunch of teenage girls now with what somebody
Right.
said and what somebody but that again, that's the world we live in. And it what gets me, and it's the blessing and the curse of it's mostly a curse, social media,
Social media.
we
Yeah.
know
The
we know that
immediacy of it.
we
And
know
I
that
want
it's
to
a
get
curse.
clicked.
But flat out, y'all, I'm not kidding. If you don't have Twitter or X as they call it now, if you don't have that right now, I don't know that you know what's going on in the world. And that's as weird as that sounds. And it's not perfect by a long shot. And I promise you, they're going to try to continue to take it down and do what they do. But being able to be on the phone and you follow people
Yeah.
that you know are in and they're there, and to know what's going on and have literally videos you're looking at of what's there, and then to watch the news, these moronic airhead saying nothing. Not our commander in chief comes out late. Like, let's put it this way: when ex presidents are beating you,
Yeah, he was shaking from from a
man,
sleep.
when ex presidents are beating you to comment on this, okay, might maybe should have woken them up a little bit earlier, but then to come out after it is obviously an assassination attempt, everybody knows it, everybody, and to be asked about it and not say that, yeah, this was an assassination.
Yeah.
It's beyond belief. And
He
then
did
later
say
on,
it today.
did you? Well, gee,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you see the press conference?
Um,
The one with the FBI, the cops.
yeah,
Yo,
late last night. Yeah,
here's
that
a
was like a
general
nothing
rule.
thing there too.
Here's a general rule. Why are you doing a press conference if you're not going to say anything?
Yeah.
They weren't even willing to identify the guy. I can pull up on my camera pictures of this dude dead. They're already pulling up. Now, they scrub this social media as fast as possible. That's the other thing that happens now, which is always, something's up when all of a sudden you're telling me somebody that's passionate enough to take a shot. And the other thing too,
Yeah, within an hour or so, they had, and I think I shared it with you. I don't know, you were having trouble yesterday. I'm sure AT&T trouble.
everybody was. No, that was just
Yeah, I had it the day before.
Well, I think part of
but
that's still the hurricane down here. We didn't even talk about the
yeah,
fact that we had a hurricane this week.
But had something on Twitter, video of people in, the people around the building, and then it zooms in to the top of the building with the guy dead on top of it.
Yeah.
And that was, like I said, an hour or less after.
And they're doing this. And oh, by the way, who was not present? Anybody at the press conference? Anybody from Secret Service?
Yeah.
Like, because that's where all the questions start right over the. Again, like I said,
Yeah,
if they would have hired
or something.
Juan, if they would have hired us, or somebody more, the Cajun, man, if they'd have tapped Lafourche Parish deputies, hey, we'll give y'all a trip to the whatever Butler, Pennsylvania. Y'all on Trump detail this week, dude. They'd have shot that guy before he put his first foot on the ladder or whatever he did to climb on top of that building.
Just for thinking about it.
Now that would have been a problem because they probably would have shot some innocent bystanders just out of precaution.
Well,
But
But we
So,
didn't talk about, and yeah, the Trump walk off, which I think was glorious.
well, yes. So, right, it is the best description I've heard. And those of you and I will not, we will not put the picture.
No,
I
because
don't
it'll
think
get
we're
a
going to put.
shutdown.
So
No.
anywhere, in fact, you know what? This might be one of the few episodes we ever do that I don't know that we're going to have any visuals in it, because Juan has learned over time it gets blocked.
Yeah.
The quickest way for anything to get blocked is to certain pictures, certain things.
Yeah, and to just clarify that, because you'll say, well, how can people? We post things and we advertise it. We, in order to use those type of images, we would have to register as a political entity, which I don't want to deal with that and all of the stuff that
Hey,
goes
just do me a
with it.
favor this week when it comes down to the write up. Just say every time we think we're out there, they pull us back in. All right.
Uh,
I would love to be talking about something besides this, but that's what it is. But oh wait,
but no, we're talking about the
the
walk
picture.
off.
Okay, so
Yeah.
couple things there. It was the best description I heard of it. And those of you that have not seen it, there's a shot, and it really is. You cannot. It looks like every terrible, cheesy Facebook post, T-shirt that people have made of Trump in the past. I get a little bit, the true worshipers that come up with these.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
make.
this will be on a shirt today. Sometimes it'll
Oh,
be available.
but here's the deal. It was a legit picture. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, it looked staged. You could not have a more. Dude's got a flag behind him on a blue sky. He's got blood on the side of his face right now. Not a lot, just enough to let you know. It wasn't like it was not even a gory picture. It's like a guy that's been in battle. He's got his fist up in the air. I heard it was called this Braveheart. They said that's the Braveheart picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Him
the Trump.
screaming fight. And if you listen to the audio, which I do find it a bit amusing, that he said, "Let me get my shoes on."
Let me get my shoes, dude. You
like,
didn't understand.
yeah, why wear his shoes off? I wasn't sure about that.
Well, I'm sure he had on. I'm sure he had on
some slip-ons, I guess.
Slip-ons. I'm sure he had on. So yeah, he didn't have lace shoes. He had slip-ons for comfort.
Right, probably relatively expensive. Maybe had a hole in his sock.
I mean, look, he's the priest. He's like, no.
But he told Secret Service to stop.
Yes. He did. He made him stop. He made him stop to
turn
to the audience.
Right.
To turn
he
to the audience to
crouch
let
down.
them know. Exactly. It's like, I am not leaving this stage with them thinking I was like grabbed out of here. He said, stop, put us in. Okay. So exactly. And I tell you what, you can go and find. What was interesting to me was the people that I would not have thought would have been, say, Trump supporters, or at least not vocal, that after the fact were like, that's the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, so they try to, I don't know, and
the one thing that was odd about it, and while we were watching it, like the replay for the first time, my son kept calling this out. So the female Secret Service officer was about a foot shorter than Trump, and out in front.
And go back and look at the picture. There's actually one more thing, and was ducking. So everybody's pointing that out today. It's like, wait a minute, you need big dudes to surround and protect Trump. 6'3". You could tell me you got a 5'3", and then she's ducking on top of that. Now here's the deal, and that's what
and that has nothing to do with the fact that she's a female.
If it had been, there are other things.
Could be the fact that she got the job because she's a female.
Well, listen, okay, let's put a pin in.
But the point is, you don't put somebody smaller. Their job is to be between the president and the bullet.
If 100%. And here's the other thing. One of the things Bongino pointed out, because Bongino as well is saying, hey, wait a minute, let's be honest. Trump saved himself. He gets hit, he goes down. Right. He's not standing. Okay.
Right. And they keep saying, I've heard reports this morning, Secret Service tackled him. No, didn't they jump on top of him after he was on the ground?
Now, Bongino points this out, and this is true, but either whatever it is, in total incompetence. The fact he stood up, the fact they allowed him and stood up with him, and he stood there. And if you look at the picture, she's dunking. They basically allowed, if not almost encouraged, for him to present himself again.
Right. I was surprised he was able to get out of there that early.
Well, I don't.
I don't
Well,
know
but
what the protocol is on that, or
Bongino
at
said no.
least
Bongino said the protocol is you take geez, and I'm gonna botch it, but it was basically you never see him again. In other words, when he went down, you should never have seen his head again. It's
right.
like
I figured he'd have had to hutch down and they'd have carried him
they
out,
get him
basically.
down, they put their bodies between him and they get out of there. That ain't what happened. Now, granted, yeah, and you can say, well, Trump did. It's not his call. It's
Yeah.
not his call. That the instant that happens, Secret Service says you ain't looking for shoes. You ain't standing up. You don't get to do the fight. And you can tell they were trying to again, but here's what I'm going to guarantee you, Juan. If he was surrounded by, as he should have been, 4 to 5, 6'2" to 6'4" athletic men, he could not have gotten off the ground because they'd have been, Mr. President, put your head down. We're out of here. Screw your shoes. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're getting him out.
Yeah,
Even
that's
getting
what I thought. There was no way you were going to see him
even
at
getting to the
all.
car. Even when they get him to the car, you can see his head. And he puts he looked like
Yeah.
Judd Nelson at the end of
At the end of a Breakfast Club.
he looked like he did his Breakfast Club pose on the way out. And it's like, and then that's where now that's the video that's gone viral everywhere. And again, hey, for what it's worth, y'all. I mean, we can have this discussion, debate, whatever. You had there's a lot of people there, but there are three ladies. And again, whatever I don't know how people identify anymore. I think you can three Secret Service agents who I would suspect identify as he, she, whatever. All right, can we just do all that? And it looked like Keystone Cops. One couldn't get her gun back in the holster, right? Looking kind of whatever. One seemed very interested about putting her sunglasses on. Like that was one of her first. I saw somebody said, well, thank goodness she was able to holster her sunglasses. And I forget what the other one was doing, but it was
I
obvious.
think she bent down to pick up the hat.
I don't see, but it was clear like, wow. And I don't know. Like I said, I hope that there are smart enough people sitting somewhere that with Secret Service or with whoever, and they're watching this video and they're bringing in cynics to basically to come up with better answers, y'all. Here's all I'm asking. Please give us better lies than the ones you're telling now. Please just give us at least something that makes a little more sense than some of them, but that's where you are.
Let's also not forget, in the very recent future, I wrote his name down, Congressman Benny Thompson, from Mississippi, tried to pass what he called the Disgraced Act.
Yeah.
And I love that they come up with acronyms for all these things. But it basically was a way of stripping Trump of his Secret Service detail.
But you know what? After yesterday, hey, I wish he would have passed, because he would be out there with his own dude. Cajun Navy, ready to go.
But this is
go.
So one of Representative Thomas's aides posted this last night.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking.
By the way, so understand what's going on now, guys. And again, it's all the whataboutism, but that is a leader, an elected leader who tried to do this. And then a person who the only reason you would know them is on his staff, accountable to, senior enough person that basically makes that.
Right. Now they fire the person. Hell, I think they ought to fire him.
Well, if in a real world, everybody's fired. In a real world, there's not like whoever the crew is that was there last night or yesterday. They're not. They're all on, all of them, even the good guys, even the guy that took the shot. Everybody's on vacation. Everybody's like, whoop, we got. The other thing is, and this is a sad state of affairs where we are, dude. Are you going to believe anything that they come out now and say? The people you're most worried about are the people that are doing the investigation.
Yeah.
Right. So, we will see.
Did you hear? And she's well known. I don't know. I don't forget her name on CNN. Last night was saying that Trump's use of the word fight
Yeah.
was a poor choice in today's environment.
I read a lot of comments that said no matter how much you think you hate the media, you don't hate them enough. You don't hate them enough. Think about the level of intellect here's the deal. It's your God-given right to be that stupid. It is you're
You shouldn't be getting
endowed.
paid to be that stupid, though.
I don't have a problem with that either. You are endowed by your creator to be that freaking stupid, but you don't got to say it on TV. You can have those thoughts in your head. I think
Well,
that's so hang on a sec. A guy, whatever you think of him, that they have tried to bankrupt. They have, let's go
throw him in
back.
jail.
Let's go back to the Russia scandals, right? What is it? The doc, darn it.
Oh, the dossier.
Dossier. Okay, that made up. Laptop, not real.
The 51 top security guys.
Yes, hey, no. Finding them, whatever, trying to bankrupt them, trying to do so like, man, now we're just gonna put them in jail. Let's just okay. Now he's at a rally and literally just got shot in the head. He literally just got shot in the head. He got right.
Now people want to minimize it and say ear. You know what? His ear's on his head, and then that wasn't a sharpshooter shooting for his ear.
And from 140 yards away, which again is not a far shot, the dude, and I would say technically he missed, but there are a couple things. They said he turned his head slightly. I mean, you can just see right before he turns his head slightly. Well, you know what a slight turn is? A slight turn is about a half inch to an inch.
Yeah.
And then I read somewhere else that said there was about a 10-mile-an-hour, just a breeze blowing. And they did the math on how that works out. But the dude, on top of everything, the week of his convention, they shoot him in the head. And you're criticizing him
right now.
You're criticizing him for standing up with blood dripping out of his ear,
screaming,
and telling his people to fight.
He looked a little angry, Dave. He looked a little angry.
Yeah,
should have been more forgiving.
That's the kind of language that's going to lead to somebody getting hurt.
This is what, and I kept trying to think about the whole. I've never been close to being shot. Yeah, no one's ever pulled a gun on me.
Right.
The sense that bullet just hit your ear or hit your body, and you've got the wherewithal to stand up and say anything, dude. I just think the level of fear in me would have incapacitated me.
You find out, yeah. Well, and again, I'm not overplaying this because other people saying, "Oh, you find out who you are," and blah 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 blah. But I think it was pretty clear when he gathered himself after about 30 seconds of being whatever.
Yeah,
dude was pissed.
Yeah, he was.
I'm surprised. I guarantee if they'd have given him the option, he'd have put a towel on his
and going back up
and said,
bring him here.
Well, and you know what? But that being said, there was a dead person.
Right. He didn't know that at the time.
He probably did. They said it was pretty. They said it was pretty gory. Like the guy.
I think that's what the scream was, and people's like I heard one guy say like the Zapruder shots.
Which again, we forget and it gets lost, and I hope it doesn't. And I hope the person that was killed and injured, we have to remember that there were people that died yesterday, literally died because of that. Please stop with all these other. I'm not even going down the path with all these other things they're throwing out. Well, it's sort of like no, it's not. No, it's not
like anything.
I
was shocked at the people who didn't move.
Well, that's a natural response. No, that's a natural response.
But one woman behind Trump kept videotaping.
That's a natural response as well. A natural, it's fight or flight, or freeze. Okay, they don't kill you to freeze, but the freeze part. They just like, what are you going to do, right? So. Yeah, and again, you're watching what's going on. I think I'd have been like some of them, and I don't think I would have ran, but I'd have been ducking. I'd have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
I don't know that if I'd have been in the audience, I'd have had the wherewithal to stand up and start chanting USA.
Well, you know what? We weren't there. It was one of those. It's the moment is the moment, and that's where we are. But yeah, we started talking about it earlier, and you wonder when things come to a head. And a big one now, because again, the video that started going out like crazy after, and it's annoying a little bit. It's a point, but it annoys me when they start talking about the DEI. Okay, and for those of you that don't know, DEI, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And inclusion.
Okay, which is, depending on where you are, it's okay. We need better representation over blah blah. I get it. I get the theory behind it. But there's an argument to be made that there are certain areas, certain jobs that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for
No.
you're looking for ability, and you're looking for, right, well, basically ability and the capacity to do a job. I got news for you, and we're not going to really talk about this. Is going to be an evergreen one, I think. We had a hurricane come through here last week, y'all. I got stories about generators and days without power, and incredible. The only people this past week that rivaled the Secret Service for incompetence was Centerpoint Energy. I mean, we've got some incredible incompetence that has been shown around the Houston area. But the DEI stuff, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of line workers. I mean, doing some dangerous, hot, dirty, important work right now. It's the least diverse group I've ever seen in my life, bro. I mean, you drive all over the fourth largest city in America right now with the past week, and you run into and you look at people that are just freaking out in jungle heat. But no, it's not a very diverse group. Okay. So I'm a little offended by that. I'm a little, walking around saying, I don't see proper representation of you people 50 feet up in the air hanging onto electric wires.
Yeah, hoping to not get shocked.
Okay. But so what doesn't help, and I think let's go with the fact, let's call it a reasonable novel is not, maybe it's a novel idea. Maybe it's something worth doing. Okay. So here's a hint from a PR standpoint. If you are promoting to the world, which apparently our Secret Service has been, the person who's in charge of Secret Service, you know what her job was before she became head of the Secret Service? Security for the Pepsi company, corporation.
Yeah.
So not saying that's not a, and maybe she had law enforcement.
Dave, I'm sure people in the Pepsi plant, are probably targeted on a regular basis by people from the Coke plant.
And she made a big part of, and there's videos, they show this. These are easy to find, y'all, that her big push was they need a more diverse Secret Service. That's what. So here's the deal. In a bubble, and you're not paying attention. Okay, yeah, because I'm that way. I'm thinking, all right, so long as they're good. I don't care if you're 5'2", you better be able to do 100 push-ups, right? You better be, I don't care physically how big you are. Can you bench press a 6'3" ex-president?
Seems, yeah.
Right? If I'm a fireman and I'm running into a building, and I know part of what we are trained for is if I have a partner go down, I got to be able to grab that person by the back of his shirt and drag him or lift him or her and get him out of the building. So I don't care who you are, what you are, that is a requirement, right? So my thing was always, well, okay, because it's Secret Service, you got to be good with a gun at least, right? I'm not expecting you to. Now other people brought up, no, wait a minute, you can have that on a perimeter, but if you are actually protecting the person, if you're the body person, right? They call them body man. I guess now they can call them body womans. Okay. You got to be able to do it. You got to, if the guy you're guarding is 1.5 feet taller than you, and it don't help when you duck, it don't, right? So, but look, it's the same way with Boeing. My thing with Boeing, hey man, you can advertise that stuff all you want, but you know what? When, and I'm not saying one caused the other. Maybe it's just horrific timing that you decide to start promoting something besides we've got the best of the best, and that's what it is. And when your planes start falling apart, Maybe one didn't cause the other, but I would pull some of the marketing. I'm just saying.
Well, might be that one may not cause the other, but maybe your attention got diverted.
Uh, could be, but yeah, we're just gonna one in the history of this podcast, and I think this is what 173.
I don't know. I think maybe 174. I lose track.
Is it 174? Whatever it is, it's a lot, y'all. I don't think we've ever done a one subject.
No, not unless it was about us.
Right. And I'm just looking here. What is the Joe down, Dick down, and Gino. Oh, I did jot this one down again, sort of the same subject. And it's like we have to you start being careful of it. You can see like the level of the intelligence of okay. So the dumbest of the dumb, and this would go both ways. If it had been Biden, who was just barely not, which by the way, God forbid, if something happens to him, which side do you think is doing something to him? It ain't.
Yeah, we can talk about his big boy
trying to
press
get rid of
conference
him.
was the saddest night among his constituents ever.
Yeah. You've never seen one side cheering so hard for the other side's guy to stay in the race, right? It's like no.
Yeah.
You know, like true conservatives are paying for extra security on him. Like no, don't hurt that guy. But anyway, so the truest level of dumb are the people that are like your friend that's trying to say or making jokes about, oh, Ames, that's just horrific. That's subhuman. Don't do that kind of stuff. And they got various levels, but then a slightly more elevated, maybe intelligence, but almost equally dumb way to divert things is to make this all about gun control.
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden it's like, so wait a minute. That's the issue. Steve Kerr, by the way, moronic. I used to love Steve Kerr, basketball player, coach of the ball, but he can't help but be wrong on stuff sometimes. That's not a gun control. And what I was thinking of, we had a hurricane here this past week. You know what, Juan? You know how I could stop hurricanes? I figured out a way we could stop all hurricanes. Dude, if we just drain the Gulf of Mexico. Think about it.
Well, somebody has talked about, dumping dry ice in there, cool it down.
That or just drain it. Think about it. If we drain the Gulf of Mexico, we wouldn't have to even have spending all this money on these.
You know what, Dave? It would also solve coastal erosion.
It would solve coastal erosion. Nobody would be drowning out there. There'd be no more shark attacks in Florida. You could drive.
There'd be no more oil spills in the Gulf.
You could just wipe it right up. If you got a spill, you could just right. It'd be so. Look, man. You're welcome, America. That's my idea which has about the same amount of likelihood of happening as thinking you're going to stop. Right. Just drain the Gulf. We can get rid of hurricanes. We can get rid of shark attacks. We can get rid of all that stuff. But that's what and that all the way. By the way, came back. They traced the gun the guy used was purchased by his father.
Yeah, father. Yeah. So
legal purchase. So that's the other thing. Like, oh, we got to keep illegal, whatever. So
the whole, and not to go down that whole thing again. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Somebody made a reference to one got shot in the ear. What about next time when it's a third grade class? Man, I don't want to set you off. But what I want to comment on something like that is, you know what? Put a sharpshooter in the third grade class. That's my solution. Or in the school, make sure that
100%.
within a minute of the first shot, the shooter's dead. There's your solution to the third grade class.
And well, my thing is also, look, you can say what you want. Again, here's what I want. Here's in my world. You have a shooter like this, wherever it happens. If whether or not they are neutralized, meaning they are blown away or arrested, immediate blood tests, immediate toxicology. I want to know what they're on. I want to know what meds they're on. I want to know what where they've been. Like what are these? Because this is typically, this is not normal human. We blame this sometimes about oh it's the culture. It's this. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of this comes down to what are they on? It
was 20 years old.
Yes, exactly.
Bomb making material in the van that he drove up in and in his home.
I just want to know what you want. Here's what I guarantee you: it wasn't Bud Light.
No,
I guarantee you that guy wasn't. He wasn't an alcoholic.
But here's the type of things they look into. He didn't have any traffic tickets. I read this one. He didn't have any traffic tickets or had declared bankruptcy.
There you go.
There you
Okay.
go. So, all right.
Well, Juan, you know
Enough.
what? I used to say when I get elected, we're gonna solve all this, but I got to rethink some of these things, man. I got to rethink some of these things. But if I get elected, I am going to talk to the Cajun Navy.
All right.
I'm that are the swamp people. You know what I'm saying? That's who you
Shoot
put.
them, bro. Shoot them.
And you don't even have to shoot them. They just think you might.
Yeah.
Of course,
Instead of all black, they'd be out there in overalls and no shirt.
Of course, the swamp people are pretty good with a 22 from 3 feet away. I don't know if that's exactly
Yeah.
what you want, but there you go. So it is what it is. It was an interesting. I was going to say an interesting. It was an amazing. I was sure we will come back to the Evergreen. I got some hurricane stories, Juan. Can you believe? I would not have believed. I was wondering how we could fit all the hurricane stories I was going to have, and then yesterday I just realized no, there's only one thing to talk about, but it is
what it is.
what it is. And with that, we're gonna push the button. Get on out of here. See if it stuck to tape. Who knows, man? They may be shutting us down already. They may be saying, no.
If you got this far, thank you.
Yeah, man. Listen, you want to reach us if you can. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And every week we tell you, we do. It's not a hint, suggestion, subtle implicate, nothing. It's a freaking
it's a freaking mandate, bro.
Freaking mandate. Get out there, try to live your best life.
Right. You get knocked down, raise your fist in the air.
Man, listen. Oh my goodness. Hopefully nobody else is going to get a shot, get nipped in the ear by a bullet with bad intentions. But if you do, shrug them off. Breakfast Club, fist up in the air. Baby. Breakfast Club, fist up in the air. And let's just hope. I have, I talk to my sons about this quite a bit, about things that don't make sense sometimes. And you go, okay, that was unfortunate. Maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe, you never know. You never know how things play out. And I keep thinking, okay, America, can we figure some of this stuff out? Can we, right? And maybe it is, like you said, you just get to the point of the people who are, it's okay. That's the thing too. I think people get more and more comfortable saying, oh, that guy's an idiot. That guy. I think more people are going to become more vocal about, shut up. Yeah. No, I'm not worried about what you think about that. I'm not worried about being called this or that because of, it's right and wrong. Don't hurt nobody. That's what hey, just like we tell LaFouche Parish, hey, potential assassins, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. What are you doing?
You don't like somebody, vote for the other guy.
Go door to door knocking. Well, no, not really. Not these days. I don't. Do what you're gonna do peacefully. Peacefully do something, right? Vote. Exactly. That's. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But keep an eye out that Cajun Navy. I think swapping out.
Idea, man.
I think swapping out the Cajun Navy for the Secret Service right now might not be the worst idea.
So if you had a political event and you see a bunch of flat bottom boats with oversized mercury on the back end,
ready to go.
Somebody took that idea.
Ready to go. I promise you. You show up and that crew's on the you are not crawling on top of building. Promise you that.
Bring a couple airboats that can chase you on the water or the land.
Dude, try it. Make my day, they say. What they say, bro, make my day. Make my day, I said. All right. Well, so everybody, like I said, it's going to be an interesting week. We have the Republican
convention.
Wow. What's going to be the highest? Dude, this is going to be Super Bowl level ratings.
Here's what I want to, and I don't want to derail our ending, but Trump's a fairly vain guy.
Yeah, sure.
How's that ear going to look?
I think it's going to look perfect. It's going to be immaculate. Well, they got plastic surgeons figuring out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't imagine he's going to have Dusty Road cauliflower ears.
No, you know what he should do though? He should have one of those. Was it Star Trek that put that stuff above the ear? Right? He should have like like American flag ear cover. Just over that thing. Hey, talk about battle scars. Yeah. It is. It's the Braveheart picture, man. But we'll see how this next week goes, y'all, and we'll be back to comment maybe on more than one subject next week.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about hurricanes.
And those of you that have criticized us before for not quite getting to,
Dude, we went straight in and stayed the whole ride.
never got out. Never got out. We drove the truck into the ditch and said, screw it, Brad. That's where we staying. We're going to just throw mud the whole time and get on out of here on this very special edition of David one more time. All right, man. We're out of here.
All right, dude.
Love you, bro.
I got you. So totally non-political. So you know how when you were a kid or a teenager and you got something new, man, you just wanted to wear it. I saw this kid at church this morning in a brand new, I hadn't seen one of these in decades, FFA jacket.
High five.
Dude, 100 gazillion degrees outside. This boy got that jacket on, zipped up.
High five. FFA. You got it, man. Rock and roll. Good. Don't be getting
man,
the little thumbs
proud.
up.
Yeah, if I could have called him after, I'd have said, hey, bro, I used to be in that.
Very nice. Yeah, but don't lie, man. When you're proud of something, back in the day, we wore members only jackets when there was no need to have a jacket on.
Oh, no, that's true. Yeah, I did. I'm just thinking about that.
It'd be freaking June. We got we going out with a members only jacket on in June.
I swear to God, I hadn't thought about that in years. I took a marketing class in the summer and I had to do a presentation and I wore my members only jacket. Yes, indeed.
It's over. Go home.